Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
You are most welcome to Issues at Hand this morning. My name is Karo Noaman Tumwini, and as usual we are here to discuss issues and matters that are making headlines when it comes to our country and society, especially Uganda. Now, of course, we are broadcasting live from Church House 13th floor here in Kampala, the city center, and of course it is Church of Uganda Family TV. Now it is Issues at Hand, where we do bring you different guests, and of course they help us understand or analyze the issues that are happening, especially in their fields of expertise. Today's guest is a very, very special person when it comes to the economics desk. But before we get there, I'd like to remind you that we are on social media at Church of Uganda Family TV. That is on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube and other social media platforms like LinkedIn and Threads. Now, of course, you can also follow the conversation on YouTube, where we are live, and you give your comment about the topics that we are going to look at and the different matter that we're going to share, as well as, of course, you can like and share with a friend, and of course you can always reach out to us. We shall be ready and willing to, of course, respond to you. Now, of course, we do remember that the Uganda as a country now has a budget to look up to or to finance the next financial year, that is 2024-2025. Previously in 2023-2024 we had a budget of 52 trillion shillings, and of course there are different sectors that were very, very key when it came to this budget. We had infrastructure development, roads, and of course transport, as well as human capital development. Right now this new budget, of course, it's showing some similar trends with the previous one, but also, of course, there's a lot of things that have changed, especially the figures that we are looking at. We have a budget that has, of course, amounted to 72.1 trillion Uganda shillings, and of course we are looking at all possible ways, first of all, of getting this particular amount, because you know that as a country about 28 to 27% of this budget is funded by the taxpayer, meaning that some other ways have to be forged in order to see that the budget is fully financed. But to carry us through the discussion about our national budget is Julius Mukunda from CSBAG, which is the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, and he is going to be taking us through after we welcome him and he, says hi to us. You're most welcome once again to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, and good morning our viewers. Glad to be here. Let's talk about how our government is going to raise money, but also how our government is going to spend the money.
Okay.
I'm sure by the end of the discussion, our Ugandan citizens will understand which opportunities are there, what they need to do to set themselves up so that they can be able to benefit from the budget. But also for them to understand that it is not free lunch, that the challenges are out there, and that as citizens we have a responsibility to ensure that each and every coin is spent efficiently, but also effectively. Thank you.
All right. When let's start from comparing last year's budget to this one. Last year we had 52. We had to look for or to get or to find 52 trillion Uganda shillings, and we remember that a percentage of that, yes, was from the taxman or URA, but we had to find other sources of this particular money or revenue that the country needed, and one of those ways was to borrow some money here and there, and we saw that this money went to good use as per reports from the finance department of Uganda. But now with a budget on table for 72 trillion Uganda shillings, are we looking at a better year compared to last year in terms of economics?
Of course, there are certain fundamentals that are doing well for us as a country. Number one is economic growth. Economic growth is how your country gets richer and richer. because if you are not growing rich as a country, then it becomes difficult for you to raise money to take care of your people. We have been told that when COVID came, our growth went down around like 3.3%. But now it has rebounded back. We are now looking at having a growth of 5.5, and we are projecting to have a 6% GDP in terms of growth. So that's very important. Another fundamental area where we are very happy is about inflation. You may recall that when inflation went to 10%, it really brought a lot of outcry. Inflation simply means price increases of goods and services. And that's when you remember petrol was coming to 10,000. So many things, prices increase, and that's not good for the economy because affordability becomes difficult. Prices increase, but your salary does not increase. So it means that the same amount of money that you used to buy a kilo of sugar, you can now buy half a kilo of sugar. Transport increases. So we are happy that inflation has been contained. The government target has been 5%. But now we are even below 5%. In fact, some of us, we are like, no. I think we have really overheated this economy with so many solutions to control inflation. So, but we have stabilized. Another important element is exchange rate. So when you are shilling depreciating and appreciating all the time, it becomes difficult for a trader to know what price they will make before goods arrive at the border. So we have also seen that our exchange rate has stabilized over some time, which I think is also very important, and we appreciate the government of Uganda for really managing the exchange rate. So a number of things are happening on the side of raising revenue. Last year, actually, we had a surplus in terms of our target, I think, which was very good. But unfortunately, this time around, the minister told us that as of April, we had a shortfall of 1.9 trillion for the 52 trillion budget we are talking about, which is ending in the next few days. So that's where the problem is. But the government had to finance the gap in terms of domestic borrowing. In terms of looking at this ending budget, how it is ending, the minister has informed us that a number of good things happened. Schools have been built. We know that in terms of blood banks have been set up. We understand that 3 regional blood banks have been set up, and you know that has been one of our biggest challenges. A number of hospitals have been refurbished and also rehabilitated. We are glad that has happened. We know that also that in terms of roads, 205 kilometers of tarmac roads have been added onto our road networks. So you really can see that in this time of the financial year budget, a number of things have been done. So when we talk about the ending budget, yes, we can see that government has been really able to do a number of things. We can't, of course, cannot forget about PDM, and we know that PDM is one of the key programs of government of monetizing the economy, but also increasing financial inclusion, but also driving poverty and increasing incomes among our households in rural areas.
Thank you very much for pointing out that. Now let's first of all, let's talk about the transport sector. This budget, particularly this financial year, is going to focus on maintenance and of course putting up some road infrastructure and road furniture, and it has been given a tune of 4.9 trillion Uganda shillings. Is this fair, considering even before we get to maintenance as a country, we still have a little bit of transport issues here and there to sort, especially bad roads. Not all the roads are clear. What is your take on that?
So I think for me, the transport sector, even if we give them 10 trillion, would still get the problem, because there are certain fundamental underlying problems in our transport sector, in our infrastructure, not just transport, but infrastructure development in this country. The fact of the matter is, we have an infrastructure problem. So we don't have enough roads.
Okay.
And we've been pumping in money for the last 10 years to resolve this issue. Now, a number of good things have been done, but fundamentally, there are those that are still holding us down. What have we done to improve the infrastructure? Infrastructure is, we need to deal with, it's about public investment management. How do you start a road and how do you finish it? You see, starting a road is not like, opening up a small pathway, from your home to your garden. For government, it is very complicated. You need to ensure that you do what is a project cycle, when you start and when you finish. So let me give you an example. If you want to start a project, you have a concept. And concept is an idea in terms of, I want to do this road, this is a problem I want to sort out, and these are the benefits. Then you go to other things, including having a visibility study to say, oh, if you want to do this road, the facts of the matter are, is it legally acceptable? Can you build this road? Is it protected by the legal framework? Yes, you take that one out. Is it financial viable? How much are we going to put there and how much are we likely to get out? So you begin to ask those particular questions. Now, when you get answers, then now you are like, I can start a road to build it. Now, the government of Uganda has done a number of things. Number one is we have what we call a development committee established at the Ministry of Finance to see through those issues and say, yes, this project is going to start. But unfortunately, some projects come through the window. There is political pressure. You have to do this road. You have to do this electricity. You have to set up these schools. Because all that is infrastructure. And that affects the quality of the projects we get out. So like the roads. And how are we affected? Because we have a very strong development committee that does that. But the politics keep on hitting it. Now, which means that if a project goes through and has not fully scrutinized by the DC, then the viability of that project to finish on time and on the budget becomes very difficult. That's why the Auditor General is telling us, not even to go there. You just go the express highway, the northern. We were supposed to have finished it in 5 years. It took us 20 years to finish.
Oh dear. Because the designs
of changing the designs was a very big problem. We have a project, Jinja Kampala Express Highway. A contract was signed 3 years ago to be done. Up to now, we have not even spent a single coin on that. So you have so many of those. But the matter is, why are they like that? Because we were not prepared.
Okay.
So the 4 trillion we are putting in in infrastructure, especially transport. I know that yes, they will do some work, but it could have done better. Look at our potholes in Kampala. The potholes in Kampala is not because we lack money. No, it's not. It's our capacity to deliver on time and on budget. KCC has a loan from World Bank that was signed last year in March for purposes of filling potholes in Kampala. We've not touched a single coin on that amount of money. But we have decided to use in our own money because it is very complicated to get that money down simply because we signed the contract when we were not prepared. I don't think we even have visibility studies. So there's that challenge of, before you put your signature or before you say let's spend the money, how prepared are you? Because you need to plan and say, yes, I'm now ready. Because you can't start a road when people are still on the road. You have to create a right of way. Another classic example I could give you is of the Unura tree.
Yes.
They were going to build a road, and in the process they found that there was a tree in the middle of their design. So they called the value and said, please value this tree so that we can cut it out and move on. The value went to value the tree based on the timber that is ready to get out of the tree. But this was a spiritual tree. Okay. The owner said, no, it's not about timber. It's about the spirits. And your value of the tree is around 10 million, but the spiritual value is 500 million. So you see, there is that, but it means that before they started to design that road, they should have gone to reach that tree and say,
exactly.
who's the owner of this tree? And then you discuss that, because it took them 6 months to finish. I'm trying to be as simple as I can, so that people can understand the gravity of the challenges we have.
Yeah.
So that is a simple tree. So what about the Entebbe Kampala Express that is supposed to displace people? So even before you think of signing that loan, first get off the people. Then you can sign a loan and start that. So that's the biggest challenge we are facing. And because of that, this last financial year, we spent 118 billion on commitment fees.
Oh my God.
Commitment fees means is a fine that the creditor gives you because you have not used the loan you asked for. You asked for 100 million.
They gave it to you.
They gave it to you. They have now advanced to you, 20, because you would say, I need 20 for the next 5 years. But for you, by 5 years, you have already used only 20. So they are still remaining with 80 million. So they fine you for that. You have not used
the money.
So we have
Uganda spent
we have 14.4 trillion of undisbursed loans. Because we started when we were not ready. So that's the biggest challenge we are facing. And I think we've been engaging government. How can we improve our absorption capacity? So that's the problem with the infrastructure programs in this country.
Okay.
We need to better our game.
All right.
Okay.
That is one sector. Now, when we get to another one where we have oil and gas, and the prediction is that by 2025-2026, we shall be able to what I call harvest our first oil. Now, remember, since 2021, contracts worth 1.7 billion were awarded to Ugandan companies to carry out the work and all. But this year, particularly, they have the Ministry of Finance, together with government, has seen it fit to award 920.86 billion Uganda shillings. And of course, they have some priorities that they are focused on, like developing the railway to make it easier for transportation.
SGR.
But what would you say about this particular sector? First of all, is the 920 billion going to be enough? Because we are facing a challenge where all sectors are coming out to say this money is not enough.
No, money would never be enough. But to those who know how to utilize it, it will be enough. So for oil and gas, I think first of all is that we are blessed that God gave us a natural resource which we should utilize to develop ourselves in a smart way. So I'm against the group which says we should not touch it. If you don't touch it, then really I think you'll be cast by the God himself. So we need the oil out.
Okay.
So that we can be able to finance desperately the things that we need in this country instead of borrowing money. And we shall come to debt and we will see how it is. Okay. So oil, I think for oil that we are progressing where we could have done better, but I think we are doing well. We for example, we have a machinery in place to do that.
Yeah.
The Petroleum Authority of Uganda is a serious institution that really oversees the development of the oil sector. We have a Uganda National Oil Company that really looks at our interests in investments in oil. And we call upon Ugandans to take charge, take the opportunities, because the government was very deliberate in terms of local content. That you get a contract, you must ensure that you use Ugandan companies, use Ugandan people to service and all of that. So we need that. We need that. Uganda National Environmental Management Authority has been there to ensure that environmental issues are also taken care of. Of course, it is a very expensive venture. We have had ups and downs in terms of investors who want to come and invest in the pipeline. Simply because of the environmental campaign. You have strong environmental campaigns, banks pull out. But then I've heard that now Standard Chartered Bank has come in, which had pulled out some time back, but now it has come in.
Back.
So I think for me it's really a very good sector. We need to put in resources, but it's also private sector driven. We need private sector to take out to be there and take advantage of that. And I think for me, even as farmers, as oil is coming out, we need to make sure that we grow more, we increase production, because this is a resource that is going to get finished at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It gets finished. So we need to make sure that we have that sustainability plan.
Okay.
That after oil, there is also life to live.
Thank you very much. Before we get to other sectors, I'd like to us to branch to the approved sources of funds to finance this particular budget. We have domestic revenue mobilization that we had mentioned earlier, with tax measures for financial year, as well as the excise duty. We have value-added tax, income tax, and all that. But as you can see, we have a challenge to look for some of these 72 trillion Uganda shillings. And I would like to get your mind on how exactly you would advise the government to go about strengthening or finding ways of getting this money.
I think that, again, is for our viewers to understand that 72 trillion is the budget.
Yes.
But only 37 is available for us to spend. The rest is on debt servicing. That's the information that we need to understand. Because our debt has been accumulating for quite some time, it is giving us a lot of pressure to servicing it than also to put on ourselves. So that is number one. So Uganda, in terms of revenue sources, URA is going to give us 32.3 trillion out of the 70 trillion we're talking about. So we are financing our budget by 45%.
Okay.
The rest, we are going to borrow money.
Okay.
And that's very important for Uganda to understand, that we are going to get money abroad to enable us borrow money both here in Uganda but also abroad to enable
so to increase the debt, the public debt.
So in fact, we shall borrow to pay the debt. That's one important element. So that's the biggest challenge we face as a nation. And that's why you find as our campaign that I think it's high time we sit back on the table and say, what should we fund in our budget and what should we not fund in our budget?
Okay.
What should we postpone and what should we not postpone? Because the pressure to service the debt is actually increasing.
Okay.
Ugandans don't understand that. And how does this affect us? Because it affects us in a number of ways. The number one is that the interest rate is 9 trillion. To pay interest rates only, 9 trillion.
Okay.
The budget for agriculture is 1.6 trillion. So you can imagine how much we are spending on the interest rates vis-a-vis how much we are spending on the ordinary person, because 60 to 70% of Ugandans rely their livelihood on agriculture.
Of course, yes.
So if you could turn it around and say, I'm spending 9 trillion on agriculture and 1 trillion on interest rates, how you can easily boost our economy. So that's number one. Number two is that the government is going to borrow domestically around 8.9 trillion. Now, when you borrow domestically, it means that you are picking money from our banks here. Stanbic, Standard Chartered Bank, Centenary, all these banks. That's where you're picking the money from, even equity. So when you borrow from here, that means that these banks are going to remain with very little money to advance to ordinary businesses. So when money is little and the demand is high, the interest rate to pay on the money also increases.
Yes.
That's why interest rates in this country have not gone below 15%. 20, 29, 30, that's why you find the interest rates. So it becomes expensive for an ordinary business to perform.
Okay.
So the cost of running business increases. So that is the problem with the debt. The other important is that if all this debt was to be utilized, we wouldn't be having a problem, because our current debt stock is 97 trillion. I would not mind about this number if the debt was all being utilized. Remember I told you 14.4 trillion is debt that is not loans that have not been disbursed to us, and disbursed loans we committed to use them, we have not. So if we are using them, we build the roads, finish them. We build the schools, we finish them. We build the hospitals, we finish them. Because actually these loans are very, very good. We do agriculture and finish them. If we are doing that, we wouldn't be having a problem of, no, we don't have this. Yes. So those are the sources we are going to have. That's why now you here, we are going to put money on fuel, we are going to put money on water, we are going to put money, a number of things have been put, we are going to put. So, and again is that when you increase taxes, you are increasing the prices. Because the businessmen have to increase prices to be able to. But we are telling government, we have been advising government that this is not a time to increase rates. This is a time to address inefficiencies in our correction of revenues. For example, we understand that only 10% of rental fees are collected in this country. That is too way below. But we also know that it's going to be very difficult for URA to collect all the rental taxes in this country. So we are advising URA and government that districts that have got property registers and collect property revenue can be hired on a commission also to collect the rent fees. And that can work. Districts on border districts, can be contracted by URA to collect custom dues. But at the same time, they can also control smuggling. So those are when you have partnerships with the different people, different players, those are the areas where actually you'll find out that you can actually address inefficiencies in collecting our taxation system. So when you hear our colleagues in downtown here fighting, is because it's not because they don't want to pay, but it's because that they have not been paying, and now when they have started paying, they have seen the impact of tax on their businesses. Because a person who has been making sales of 100 billion, for example, and he makes a profit of 20 million, he thought, things are good, until 18% VAT came in, swallowed up all the 18 million, and you're remaining with only 2 million. Yeah. So the question, the whole issue is that because few people are paying, the rate is very high. But if we are all paying, it would be easier for government to reduce the rate. So instead of 18 here, government will actually make 10. Okay. So everybody must pay their fair share of taxes to be able to reduce the burden. Another example I can give, and an ordinary one, is look, you have a saloon, you have a border, you're a market vendor. All of these people will pay taxes. You can even pay, 50,000 per year, you can 20,000, whatever it is. But a person who has a truck full of matoke from Isinjiro, a truck full of cows for butchering here in Kampala, pays completely zero tax. We are all in the same economy, we consume the same products, we are all Ugandans. That is unfair. So we need to find a way ensuring.
So you're proposing a tax on agricultural products?
We should say cow tax, and so that all of us are in the same bracket. Because right now is you pay 30% of your monthly income to URA.
Very true.
So when you remove the rest, NSSF, blah blah blah, these other, you remain half of the entire salary. So that can help. We can have an argument to tell the government, please reduce, so that you can have more disposable income. So that's a question of revenues. I'm hoping that we can really improve. URA has worked so hard, tremendously so hard. Even if they don't hit the target, you can see that over the years, collections have increased. Okay. Over the years, yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And what about the opportunities that we are seeing in this particular budget that has just emerged?
Oh, yes. Oh, very many opportunities. I mean, despite the challenges we have, there are very many opportunities in this budget. And that's why I always want to tell Ugandans that the Baganda say that you ask for something more when you have the other one in Munkwa, you already have it. Okay. You complain when you always have something else. So there are a number of opportunities in this budget. PDM already has been provided an extra 1 trillion. Ugandans out there, please don't get this money and take it to drink. Use this money to improve production in your household. It is very important. I mean, people say, oh, free money. It's not free money. Please use this money to improve production. And for me, that is very critical and very important.
I'm laughing because somebody actually slaughtered a cow that was given to him by Operation Wealth Creation.
So yes, and I think from that mindset change, I never thought mindset change was an issue. So you don't use that money to improve production, hire extra labor to increase acreage, buy improved seeds, buy acaricides and pesticides to spray on your crops. So there's so much you can do using this particular money. For the youth, there is a myoga. Those who are doing bricklaying, those who are doing welding, those who are doing salon work, those who want to buy borders. There is a lot that people can do. It's around 600 billion. That's not little money.
No, it's not.
So let Uganda take care of that. When you come to health, we are seeing the refurbishment of Uganda Cancer Institute.
Yes.
We are seeing the refurbishment of Uganda Health Institute, Heart Institute. We are seeing funding for blood transfusion. We are seeing primary health care being boosted with extra resources. In health, those are the other elements that you want to look out for. That yes, we are seeing these ones are coming. When you come to education, more city schools are going to be established per sub-county, so that we can increase the number of education that we want. We are seeing scholarships, the Uganda High School loan, something under Ministry of Education. We are seeing that one also being funded. So those are some of the opportunities that we are seeing in terms of education, so that we can be able to have an improvement in that particular area. We are seeing in the roads again, KCC is going to be providing money around 118 billion to fix potholes in the city, which I think is very good and very important. DACA, the district urban and community access roads, we are seeing more resources being put there to deal with the community roads across the districts. We are seeing SGR is coming up. SGR is the railway to be rehabilitated and improved, because at least it can reduce on the cost of transport. Transport it's quite fundamental thing that we need to take care of it. Because a railway, if you take a railway line from Mukono to Kampala, they are going to charge you 1,000. If you use a taxi, you can to and fro, it can actually take 5,000. So it creates, there is a lot of positive impact if you can be able to improve our railway transport system. So those are also opportunities in those particular areas. Tourism. We have seen that government is going to enhance the infrastructure in the Rwenzori region, because Rwenzori is one of our key attractions. You don't want to go there and you fall over rocks. So they are going to create some ladders and tracks so that they can be done. The Uganda, the source of the Nile is also going to be improved, because source of the Nile is another serious attraction that we have that we have in this country. So you see opportunities there that Ugandans can be able to take up on, so that we can be able to revamp our economy. Agriculture, government is going to buy more tractors for commercial farmers. We are seeing government putting more money in the agricultural credit facility for commercial farmers to borrow money and increase on their production. We are seeing seed certification, because our biggest challenge in the government has been in Uganda is to buy fake seeds. So now we are going to have the Department of Seed Certification has been now revamped to ensure that it can be able to deliver on its work. We are seeing anti-tick vaccination production, which is very important and very good. We have also seen the procurement of vaccines for foot and mouth disease. So really, I mean, for me, these are serious opportunities we can take care of, we can take advantage of as citizens. But above all is that I think I urge citizens, for me, that to make sure that these things cannot come and find you in your bedroom. They cannot. You need to go out and position yourself. You will not be able to get PDM money if you don't have a good idea to present and get that particular money. You will not be able to access a tractor or any equipment if you don't have land where you're going to do it from. So you need to prepare yourself. Get out of your bedroom and go out to demand for this service to come to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Briefly about PDM, we are seeing a lot of corruption cases arising, and it is predicted that actually PDM might not impact the people and the communities the way that government had planned it out, and that might end up being a loss in the long run for government.
So PDM, like all other government programs, and it's not just PDM, many other government programs, the challenge we have, they are major two. One is unpreparedness and political interference. The program as PDM is a fantastic program. People from other countries are coming to learn from it.
Wow.
Fantastic program, because money is directly going to the village. I don't know how I would explain it. 100 million in a parish. In my parish, you are causing inflation. You are I mean, it's such a huge program that really, if people do practice the way it is being planned, there will be transformation in our country. The challenge, of course, is when the idea came and it was good, hijacked by the politicians, and then they just disseminated it, and the whole thing started, falling apart. Original idea was, please give money to the circles so that people go to the circles, present their business proposals, and they get the money. Now all of a sudden, no, every household must get 1 million, whether you have put a proposal or not. And that's why you find people who are drunk are like, PDM, because he received the money which he had not even applied for. So that's where politics really messes us up. Then all of a sudden, we don't have parish chiefs. So if you don't have a parish chief, then how are we going to start a government program? Who is going to manage it? Then all of a sudden, we don't know the number of parishes we have in this country. So we couldn't even plan for all of them. Then some parishes, you say a parish is 100 million. Some parishes have 1 million people if you come here to Kampala. Others have 10,000. So
it's not fair.
I mean, the criteria also becomes a problem. But so that's the. Of course, I mean, you have ghost circles, ghost beneficiaries, like everywhere in this country. Ghost is we no longer.
It's normal.
It's the normal ghost. So that's the way how it's going to be affected. So now somebody gets money, drinks it, and where are we going to tell him to pay back? He never even gave you any corato. He never wrote. I mean, that's the thing that really bothers me a lot in terms of implementing programs in this country. Yet you find programs are fantastically being designed. The intentions are good. We have a competent team. Then the corruption enters in, and people start. You find a Julius who stays in the Kabale. He's on the list of people in Gulu. He's an Okelo somewhere who is getting money. So it's not nice. However, I tell you, Ugandans, it is up to us. That PDM money is public money. It's your money. Please demand accountability. We've been engaging Ministry of Finance. We want beneficiaries, put on notice board that Julius, whoever has benefited from PDM. If you find a Julius in a guru, really, you would know that in a guru, I don't know, but really, you can't even tell that this person is in our village or he's not in our village. Somebody died a long time ago, but he's on the list.
He's on the list.
And it's up to you, a citizen of Uganda, to say, this is wrong. Somebody's eating our money.
Very, very terrible. Thank you so much, Mr. Julius Mukunda, for this insight. We are still here with issues at hand, and of course we are looking and breaking down the budget as it was presented by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. And of course we also are going to dwell or base on this particular information and see whether the country is going to actually develop. One of the things I'm realizing as I'm speaking to Mr. Mukunda is that actually there is lack of proper planning and sitting down to actually align things and know how the implementation plan is also going to work out, because as he has said, the programs are very, very good, they're amazing, but implementation becomes a very big challenge. My name is Carol, and we are going to take a very short break and return shortly. Don't go away. We are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Family TV. enriching lives.
Through the valley, even if I'm lost in the shadows, I will not fear, for I know you are with me. Please help me find him. Even if I walk through the valley, you follow me wherever I go. I will not fear, for I know you are with me.
When people die, they are good. A dead body is always good. He has done us good. We cannot replace him. There's no one who is replaceable. There's no one. But what can help you? It is to leave a good legacy that people will remember you.
Sometimes I share with my students a small story of an animal which normally is regarded to be the wisest, the hare. Once in a meeting of animals chaired by the lion, which was the king of the animals, he said that all those who are in the meeting and are not married should go out. This is for the marrieds. And then the hare put up a hand. I have a question, Mr. Chairman. Yes. What is it? He said, what about some of us who sleep like married people? Should we also go?
And may I say to those of you who are not yet married, determine what kind of family you want to raise. Because the family that you raise, the children that you get, you will either sink them or you will raise them up to be good citizens and good people in the church.
If you read Proverbs 16:1, they tell you that the plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord.
Because we all need love. As long as we are humans, we need love. Now he says yes, but I'm praying that you will experience the greater love.
Family TV, enriching lives. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
You are welcome back to Issues at Hand, and of course we are still here discussing what are the outcomes of the recently presented budget for financial year 2024-2025, particularly for Uganda. Now, of course, we know that we have some underlying issues like we have been talking about, and that one of the top of the list is corruption, where the government programs have failed to be implemented because of this particular cause. Now, remember, we also talked about the public debt that Uganda has acquired or accumulated over time, and it has been revealed that 14.4 trillion shillings has been kept and not used in loans. It was supposed to do some work, but it did not get to do the work, and we are being charged as a country for not actually using these loans, and now it is now a wastage of money. A wastage of the money that should have supported other sectors to grow into a very fruitful economy is now going to service the interests of these particular loans. And my first question to my guest today, Mr. Mukunda Julius from CSBAG, is how exactly can we now revert or reverse the whatever had happened to put to use the 14.4 trillion Uganda shillings, or can it actually be done? What is the fate of that particular issue?
No, we can improve our absorption capacity. That's really very, very, very important. We can, and I think for me it's a question of demanding accountability. An example would be, for example, an accounting officer who is in charge of a project that is long overdue. You know, you have a project which ended 5 years ago, but you are still in that project. We need to change management.
Okay.
That's one. Two is we need to go down also and understand why the project is not moving. And let's be clear. If you have a project where you have no right of way, because that project can't take place. The biggest problem you have in this country is about our land law. You have individuals who will actually say, I don't want to sell my land to government for this project to go through. Because it is your land and you have that right. So we have that. So project stalls because somebody has completely refused to be compensated. We have people who demand too much compensation. A plot of land, market value is 10 million, the person wants 100 million.
Okay.
And then you go to court, up and down, and you go to the magistrate, the guy, you know, he goes to the high court, from the high court, you go to the court of appeal, from court of appeal, you reach even the Supreme Court. All that is time, and it takes a lot of time to resolve those kind of cases. So we need really to deal with the question of land ownership for government projects. That's the other, because of that, it becomes extremely very expensive to compensate people on the right of way. In my village, where I come from, our town council, you know, has been constructing roads in our area. It was going very smoothly because they would come and say, please, we need to have a road go through your land, connect the other villages, and the owner would say, perfectly okay, right of a concept, not please pass through. Until one chap from Kampala came and said, me, you can't pass through, you have to first compensate me. And the town council said, how much? He talked of billions of shillings. And the town council never had that money. So, and everybody now is like, hey, you mean we can be compensated? First give us money. Now everything has stored. So and it has stored, and now we can't have development because these roads were connecting us to the markets.
Yeah.
These roads were connecting us to our churches. These roads were connecting us to schools. I mean, you know the importance of road connections in any village and in any community. So that's what happens when we don't improve our absorption capacity. The other part, I think, for me is we could remove politics out of management of some of these projects. Yes, politics, you want a road in your area. Put it there. Give the technical team the freedom to find out whether actually it is viable. There are some projects that are actually not economically viable, but they are needed for a public good. That's very important. But there are those that you really find out that they need returns to the investment. You need to pay back if you have that particular loan. So those are some of the considerations I think that are very critical and very important to be able to improve our absorption capacity. Of course, the element also is the acquisition process. How would we acquire these loans? Now, we are acquiring these loans very rapidly because of certain interests in these ones, and one of them is corruption. We have now been able to realize, and it is something I've been talking about, that corruption in this country has been legalized. It's in the system. So a loan contract is signed, and at that loan contract, there are commission fees of 1%, 2%, 3%, depending on what you do. And whether the loan takes place, is utilized or not, the commission comes out. So the person who is chasing this loan to be done, he's also interested in the commission. And when it comes out, it is shared immediately. And that's what happened to Uganda Investment Authority recently. When they had a loan, it is even underperforming. It was supposed to have, it expired earlier this year and they have not even finished it, but they decided to get 500 million and then they shared it. Why? Because it was in the contract. They were supposed to do it. But it is immoral. Even if it is illegal, it is immoral for you to get that money, share it among yourselves. The loan is here, not even performing for you, but also is a question of what happens to the rest of the Ugandans. You know, how much would 500 million, how many doses of malaria would 500 millions buy? How many mama kids, how many women are dying in hospital during child delivery because they lack mama kids, because they lack blood, because they lack all these things? What could it do? It is more unacceptable. It is not acceptable that we can have these kind of things. The second element, I think, for me is we need to ensure that we spend on only those items that really have an impact on the population. Because when you see, these pressures make us borrow more. In our budget, for example, donations is a budget you put for big people that if they go for fundraising events, functions, you pick from your quote and then you give a brown envelope. You know, I'm contributing to fundraising, to a wedding function, to a graduation function, to, you know, those kind of things. Yeah. 160 billion is going to be paid from that. So 160 billion, I mean, this is a budget for almost like the whole of Ankora's sub-region.
Exactly.
For all the districts in Ankora's sub-region. So you begin to say, okay, why are we spending this? Travel abroad, we are going to spend around 114 billion. Now, travel abroad is important, but should we spend all this money when we have
health budget?
When we have the health budget around 3 trillion. So it's huge, but 114 billion. All our referral hospitals in this country have a budget of 289 billion. So half of that could happen, and it is so little. You find a referral hospital with a budget of around like 6 billion. So it's very important that we did that. We shall want to buy furniture of around 46 billion. Furniture. So these are things you want to say, okay, they are important, but can't we have them another time? Because when you remove all of this, by the way, our calculation has been that this budget can be reduced by 5 trillion.
Okay.
So that you reduce the pressure on borrowing for more money. And then you can do it at another time when you have oil, when oil has come back, which I also don't recommend, because you need to do it. You need to invest in your people. You need to invest in the people. Let me go to the hospital and I find a medicine. Let me go to a school and I find a teacher. Let me pump this borehole and water comes. It's not non-functioning. Let my cows not die of a disease that can be curable. These are the things that we need to be doing. Let us fix all these boreholes. So yes, the 14 trillion can be absorbed if we can get back on the ground, reprimand those who are not performing very well, and also improve absorption capacity.
All right, maybe you can give us your last words. It has been a very good discussion. And
yes.
I think it has come to an end.
Yes, all good things must end. Thank you very much, Family TV, for bringing me here to explain the budget process. For Ugandans out there, the budget has been done, the speech has been done, it has been approved. Let us get ready to take advantage of these opportunities that are there. I ask Ugandans, the most important thing I ask them is that no politician is going to use that health center if he was. No politician is going to take his children or her children in that primary school or use that borehole. It is our responsibility as citizens to ensure that we follow up how money is being utilized in our own areas of locality. Go to that health center, see whether it is functioning, see whether the health workers are there, see whether the teachers are in school, so that you demand accountability. That PDM money which is coming is for you. Check the list of beneficiaries, whether they exist in your area. Check the list of circles that have benefited, whether they actually exist in your area. If they don't, please raise an alarm, because nobody is going to do that except you. But as CSBAG, we continue to provide information. We continue to educate the public about the budget. In fact, we have tomorrow in the afternoon, we are going to have a public dialogue, again, to explain these issues to the public. So use your social media platforms. You can be able to access all this that is coming up. Thank you so much, and it has been a pleasure being here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mukunda Julius from CSBAG. Our regards to the CSBAG team, and thank you so much for the work that you are doing. Also, thank you for being a part of Church of Uganda Family TV as our viewer today. And I thank those who are on social media at Church of Uganda Family TV. Please do continue to support, because there are other programs that are coming up ahead. We have entertainment in there, other current affairs programs, human interest programs, as well as news at 8 that you ought not to miss. My name is Carol, and until Wednesday, it is a good morning.
Issues at Hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.